So yeah, today's going to be a tag video, like you probably noticed from the name of this video. I am trying to use my new phone holder device that I've showed you in my last Chit update. Well, not update, just my last video. But I am trying to use that. I'm still kind of learning how to set up my setting because I don't have a particular spot in my place where I can stitch, but I'm trying to find one, so bear with me. But I kind of found little tag that is again a Russian tag, but I decided to use it. So it is about finding time to stitch. It's called, when I am translating it from Russian, time for your art, I guess. So yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of how many questions do we have here? We have 11 questions, which is nice. So I'm going to try and make it kind of not too long, but we'll see. Tell me, how do you like the lighting, because I'm not really sure how you see it. I'm not really looking at it right now. I'm kind of trying to look at 3 screens because I am reading it from my older phone and it's totally broken. So I have my blanket. I have my cross stitch saga in front of me, which I am stitching from, and I have my other phone again, which I'm reading that tag from. So let's just start this. This is my Chimera. This is one of my chosen roulette games for this week. So this is Scorpio, and I am going to be stitching this and trying to chit chat and answer some interesting questions. So okay, let's just move on to, let me just find where I was supposed to be stitching, and that's somewhere around here. I think there's where my needle is supposed to be. It's over here. Okay, so question number 1. I'm going to translate it as I go, so bear with me. How many years have you been into your hobby, or any other type of hobby related to this? They're asking me to, make it as obvious as I can. So how many years? I think it's more than 10. I haven't been counting really, but that's a long time. Let's just count 5 years back, plus it's about 10 years, because I've started really stitching when I got married to my first husband. And that's when I started my first Heaven and Earth design, which was, a big project for me. That's the time where I was stitching only that one. With time, it kind of grew, and I developed my hobby into other projects. But my first real cross stitch was my Heaven and Earth, which was what's the name? Asian Fantasy 3. Before that, I was stitching Crystal of Enchantment, but for some reason that didn't go well for me, and I kind of turned it into a diamond painting, which also didn't go well. So I think that project was kind of not for me, but I was trying to do it because I really enjoyed the process. So the first real cross stitch experience that I had, which I really enjoyed, was again my Heaven and Earth, and that was about like 8 or 9 years ago. Now before that, I did try to stitch. I had when I was a kid, my mom got me this really old cross stitch that was printed already on canvas, and it was so bad. I so didn't enjoy it. I wanted to do it for some reason, but I couldn't. So that was my first experience with cross stitch, and then I found a chart line in some point. I don't know why I looked for it, but something, I guess I saw it somewhere that you can stitch from a paper chart. So that's something that I did. I think I forgot my scissors. Yes, I definitely did. I'm going to go pick my scissors up and then I'll come back. Okay, I got it. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of a trouble setting my place of stitching right now because I don't really know. I'm at my husband's office because my mom's it is in the living room when I used to stitch, like when I usually stitch, and my baby is sleeping in the other room. So yeah, that's something that I am just found a little solution for myself for this video. But anyways, what I was talking about, I was trying to stitch my first paper chart. It was some kind of a flower that I found a very long time ago. You know, back then I think there weren't so many, you know, different charts and stuff that you could pick from. So that was something that I found for myself, and to be honest, I got the threads. I think I've already talked about that before, but shortly I did get the threads and I did everything, and it just didn't work for me. So I just stopped. And eventually I got back into it at some point, and basically that was the point when I found Heaven and Earth Design, and I decided to give it a real try, and that I was a little bit older and a little bit more serious about this, and I decided I really wanted to do it. And when I got into that, I really started to enjoy the whole process, and I don't really care what I'm stitching. I just want to do it so much. So that's something that happened. Now, if not talking about cross stitch, I did get into diamond painting after that. That's at the point when I found out about diamond painting. I think it was just going into, you know, it just was catching at that point. I found some video, one of the first videos that I saw on YouTube, of a girl that ordered, a Russian YouTuber. She ordered diamond painting, and she was so like surprised by the tininess of the stones and the diamonds and how miniature the whole process was. Like, I mean, the stones are pretty small, kind of 2.5 centimeters. So yeah, and I really like these types of small projects, works, I guess. So I decided that I really wanted to try that. So I ordered myself a kit from AliExpress. It was some flower. It's still hanging, by the way, in my mom's house on the wall. It's one of my first finished projects, and let's just say that it wasn't one of the prettier ones, but it was interesting. It was so interesting, and I got my mom into it, and she was also doing, her sighting was a little better back then, so she could. So we were doing that together. And to be honest, that's something that caught me so much that I actually stopped cross stitching for a while after finding out about diamond painting. So I got into diamond painting, finished a couple of projects, and then when I got a little bit tired of it, I started stitching again. So that's something that I did as well. It was a couple of years ago. And then I found out about bead stitching and full coverage bead stitching, which is beautiful. It really is beautiful. It's one of my favorite types of hobby, but for some reason I could never keep up with it. I mean, I always wanted to try to start to finish a project, and I just always put it aside at some point and got back into cross stitch. So I guess cross stitch is more of my thing than beading. But I do have, by the way, a plan of doing a beading project, because I have one kit that I will be showing you in some point sooner or later, which is really relevant for my life in this point. So that's something that I'm planning for the near future. For now, I just have a couple of new projects that I've started, as you probably saw. Okay, I look what happened. Look what happened. Come on. I have a knot. Just a moment. Just opening that. There you go. So again, that's something that I'm planning on doing. I do love the outcome. I love watching a finished result from beading works, and I wish that I could finish one as well. And hopefully when I start the project that I'm planning, my circumstances will make me want to finish it, because it's really, really relevant again for my life right now. So that's number 3. And then I found a little bit about coloring by numbers. That was kind of recently, like a year ago maybe, and I did get into that as well because I always liked drawing. I'm not really good drawing, but coloring is I like it. And in that point in my life, I was also into those secret garden books where you just color in beautiful mandalas and stuff like that. So that's something that I really got myself into as well. So I ordered a kit, and I actually painted beautiful a beautiful painting. But I didn't finish that one as well because I got back into cross stitch again, and I guess every hobby that I started in my life eventually got me back to cross stitch. So that's something that I guess that's number 1 for me. So yeah, that's about it. How long have I been stitching? Again, like I said, for like about 10 years. Seriously, about 10 years. Now, question number 2. How much time a day do you spend stitching, or any other type of project you do? To be honest, a lot. I have been thinking that once the baby comes, I will not have any time at all to stitch until he'll get a little older and go to some kindergarten or something. We are not planning on putting him into kindergarten anytime soon. He stays home with mommy for now. First of all, because of the whole corona thing, I don't want to get him into any place that it's outside of the house. Plus there have been too many stories about hurting children in kindergartens, especially babies like him that cannot say that they're being like mistreated or anything. So that's something that I don't want him to go through, and he is too precious to me that I do not want anybody to make him feel bad. So yeah, so basically I thought that I will not be able to stitch at all, but first of all, I have a lot of help from my mom and my hubby, which are all for my hobby. My husband really supports my channel, and he really likes when I film. He actually is the one who drove me back into cross stitch after I gave birth, because I've spent 2 months, almost 2 months after my baby was born, that I just didn't want to do anything. I was so depressed. I was feeling really, really bad, and I got back into stitching really, really slowly. I mean, I really wanted to, but I just couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything that I liked. So yeah, but once I did get back into it, I do have a lot of time to to stitch. I wasn't even expecting that. First of all, Marky, my son, he is a really good baby. He is playing. I do spend time with him. Don't think I don't. I do spend all the time with it with him, but still I do have the time for myself as well. I always find the time, so I spend a lot of time stitching. I do my house chores whenever I can, when he's asleep maybe, well, I'm not crazy about, home stuff, cleaning and stuff. So I do a little bit every time. So my mom, for example, she has a Friday every week when she does a cleaning of the entire house. I mean, she goes crazy over, the whole house. But I don't do that. I hate cleaning. I love clean house, but I hate doing that. So I just do a little bit every time, every day, just cleaning the kitchen or cleaning the living room or like doing laundry or stuff like that. Every time I do something else, so I don't have like one day where I have to spend a lot of time cleaning the entire day and then getting tired and going crazy over that. So that gives me a chance to spend some time with myself, to do the stitching that I want to do, the film and everything. And I am enjoying my life right now. I am. It is difficult to have a newborn. I mean, he is almost 5 months old, but still a newborn. I call him a small, tiny little baby. So it's difficult, but it's fine. I mean, I was expecting it to be much harder. Now, next question is number 3. More or less, what is the speed of your stitching? I guess the question is how many crosses I can make in a day. To be honest, I've never really counted how many. I did check. I do check my cross stitch saga by the end of each stitchy day because I need to update you guys. Plus, I am planning. I am playing my roulette, so that's something that I have to know how many crosses I've stitched in like a sitting. So mine plus I don't know, like 500 crosses a day is a good thing for me if I have a full stitchy day. I mean, if some days I can stitch even like 200 crosses, some days I can stitch like 50 crosses, but if I really do a serious sitting, I do stitch around like 500 crosses easily. I never get to 1,000. I wish I could. I know that there are women that do stitch so much, and I guess they're stitching a lot faster than me. I don't consider myself to be a fast stitcher. I'm kind of enjoying the whole process. Plus, maybe I'm just not a fast stitcher altogether. So that's about it. Question number 4. Do you ever stitch religious themes? Okay, let me just read this. Do you ever stitch religious themes? Do you ever stitch in town or when you're in, when you go somewhere? Let's just say that. About religious themes, no, I never stitch religious themes because I am not a religious person. I am an atheist, so I don't want to stitch anything that's considered religious because I'm not really into that. Stitching in like on the way to somewhere, or like when I'm like somewhere outside of the house, I do take my stitching to my mom's house when I go stay at her house, that's for sure. Well, you probably saw in some of my videos, but like I did take cross stitch with me when we went with my husband outside of the country when we got married. We were in Cyprus, but to be honest, I didn't even get to stitch. I didn't stitch at all because we were like driving around with our friends and like doing stuff, and the only time I had to stitch was when we were coming back to our hotel room, and we just wanted to go to bed to go to sleep. So I didn't stitch like almost at all when I was abroad. But yeah, if I will be going somewhere, of course I will take cross stitch with me. I'll take some smaller projects so I'll be able to stitch it easily, and I have a couple of those in rotation, plus I have a couple of kits that I can take with me. So that's definitely something that I will do, because you know, I don't want to go anywhere without cross stitch. I do want to stitch and I don't care. Okay, actually I can even take my heaven and earth with me, just because, well, I'm stitching from a monitor, so I can just stitch from my phone if I'm talking about the program, or I can stitch, where am I stitching right now? There, I am over here. Or I can stitch from, you know, my tablets, which is something that I can take with me as well, so that's not a problem either. So no problem to take even my heaven and earth with me when I'm traveling, because I don't have it on a large frame, have a small like hoop-ish kind of thing, so I think that will be easy to do. Question number 5. What helps you save time for cross stitch? What helped me save time? I help myself save time. Basically, my husband, like I said, helps me because he's all for me doing my stuff. My mom, who is at my place right now, she is also helping me. Well, I asked her to take notice of the baby because he's asleep in the other room. But yeah, she's helping me a lot. Like I say that I want to go film, and everybody's like, yeah, you go to your thing. So they're all for me doing my stuff. I don't know why. I guess they like me. So yeah, that's what helps me. Plus, like I said, I don't over work myself around the house. I always do a little bit at a time, so I always have the time for myself as well. Plus, I'm not working currently, so of course that gives me a lot of extra time to stitch. So yeah, guys, I hope that you are able to see what I'm stitching, because like I said, I am working with my new you know, phone holder, and I'm not really sure what you are seeing, so yeah, I hope that you can. Yeah, so let's see what else we have on our questions. Question number 6. How do you think what takes I'm sorry, I'm just translating it from Russian, so I'm going to think about what they wanted me to answer. I guess what comes instead, my when I stitch, what place does it take? I mean, is there something that I am not doing that I'm supposed to be when I'm stitching? And to answer that, no. When it comes to my baby boy, I always spend time with him when I have to. I stitch around him as well when he's with me, when he's like playing in his university, or when he is in his crib. If he wants my attention, I will definitely give it to him. The only time I have to stitch when I don't really care what he wants is when he's with my mom or with my husband. So that's the time when I can just relax and not think about that I'll have to stop stitching in any moment now, because I have to be with him. So but I don't do stitching or any other hobby related stuff instead of, you know, other stuff that I could be doing. I mean, I do whatever I need to, and then I go to stitching. I don't need to do too much. I get to do whatever I need before I go cross stitch. I guess, I don't know. I know that there are women that are just running around the house like crazy, cleaning, cooking, taking care of people around the house. I'm not like that. I really am not. I'm kind of more mellow in this type of thing, so maybe there's something that I am supposed to be doing, but I don't know what it is. I mean, my house is fine, There's enough food in the fridge, and I do not drive myself crazy thinking about putting food on my husband's table. I mean, plus my husband is like that. I'm just going to make it a little further. My husband is the kind of man who can just go and take his own plate. I don't have to give it to him, and he really doesn't get it when my mom like gets mad at me because I don't put food in his plate whenever he says that he's hungry. I mean, he can do it himself, so he does that. We do eat together, and I do give him stuff to eat, but I don't go crazy over that, and he really doesn't need that. He's really good with that by himself. He can put his own food on his table. So next question is number 7. How does your family relate to your hobby? The people who live with me. Like I said, my husband is the only one basically that lives with me for now. So, well, and I'm not talking about my baby, of course, because he has no relations to my hobby yet. But my husband really supports me. And when I lived with my mom, she also really supported me. Nobody I know is a stitcher, so that's a little sad. I wish there were. I was trying to get my mom into that, but she's not for that. So that's something that's too bad. But I don't know. I don't have a problem with anybody who lives with me who has a problem with me stitching. That's a good thing. I'm loving that. Now, next question is number 9. Your plans considering your time. Okay, let's see. What do you mean? More or less of time. I guess if I wish that I have more time for my hobby, I have a lot of time for my hobby. I have, I guess, too much time for my hobby. Sometimes a little too much. So I have no problem with time spent on stitching. Sometimes I wish I could stitch a little more, but I am tired, so I want to go to sleep. So I don't go crazy over that, because I know that I will be able to stitch the next day. Again, I'm not working, so I know the next day that I will have more time to stitch or to film or to do whatever I want. So that's something that I am, I don't have any problems with. Time is not a problem for me. Next question. Oh, so there's a bird outside my window. Your time is money. The question is my time my money? Do I make money of my hobby, or do I plan to? Okay, this is an interesting question, because I've been kind of dealing with this for since I opened my channel. I love cross stitch. I love this whole thing with I need to choose a different color, so just let me find a different symbol. Just one. Let's just go with this one. This is the color. This one. This is the color. Focus. Yeah. Originally, I opened my channel because I wanted to share my hobby with somebody, and I opened my English channel because I wanted to, speak English a little more, because I was forgetting the language, and that's something I don't want to forget, and I want my baby to learn it as well, because maybe someday we'll be moving somewhere that is an English-speaking country, and that is something, that I would like to know. Plus, I like knowing languages. I know Russian, Hebrew, and English, so I don't think I need anything else for now. But that was part of the reason why I opened my English version. but also because I really wanted to share my hobby with other people, and I don't have anybody around me who is a stitcher and who understands really what I'm doing. So even though I do have support, like I said before, I don't have anybody who understands it physically, I guess. So that's a little bit sad for me. But when I opened it, the main reason wasn't to make money of it. But then I realized that, well, I was getting more subscribers. I was getting, you know, closer to 1,000 subscribers and certain amount of views. And I know that you can make some money from YouTube. And I decided, why not? I mean, what's the problem with that? I do have that dilemma. I was talking about it in my previous videos about, you know, monetizing my videos and making the dollars from that, especially the fact that again, you are making the payments are being made in dollars, and let's just say that $1 is almost 4 Israeli shekels. So you just multiply it by 4. Let's just say 3.5. Multiplied by 3.5. So considering that I am not working, I'm a stay-at-home mom, my husband is the only one working, and I think that why not make money of something that you so love doing? I am not taking money from anybody like that watches me. My viewers don't pay for it. So it's something that, well, I do have a donation button, and I did talk about that previously. If anybody wanted to support my channel, support my future, you know, projects, because it's kind of difficult for me to get money out of my own pocket, our own budget, family budget, now that I have the baby and that I am not working. So I did open a donation account for those of you who wanted to help me develop my channel, get more kits, get more interesting charts, maybe stuff for a cross stitch. That's something that I keep from my hobby money. Now, that's not something that I make you do, but making money off the videos that I do, why not? I would love to make a living from my channel. I don't think that's possible. You let me know if anybody has a channel that is larger than mine, which there are a lot of channels that are larger than mine, but if you do have and you are watching my videos, I would like to know, like, is it a possibility to get a paycheck, like a normal paycheck from YouTube? I guess there's a way to get a decent amount, but that's something that you need to, you need a certain amount of views and likes and stuff. My channel is not that developed yet, but hopefully maybe one day I'll be able to make some money out of it. And I don't think that that's anything wrong with that, because it's something that I love doing and something that you like watching maybe. So again, I think that's a great idea, and I wish that I could make my paycheck like a monthly, like minimum wage paycheck from YouTube. That will be a great thing for me. Now question number 11. I think that's the last question. Yeah, that's the last question. Your advice for stitchers. I have a couple of advices. First of all, if you think that you want to try and stitch, do it. Choose something easier. Choose like a smaller project. Don't go for heaven and earth. Don't go for the larger project. I know they're beautiful. I know they're really interesting, but for a trial, I think you should just try and go for the smaller projects, just so you'll be able to understand what you're getting yourself into, because it's not a cheap hobby. I mean, you need to get all the threads, you need to get materials, you need a hoop or a frame or whatever it is you are wanting to use. And I think once you get really into that, into the whole kit stuff, into chart stuff, you just keep buying them because it just becomes a disease. So I would recommend for new stitchers to just go for the smaller charts. If you're taking a chart from Heaven and Earth Design, there are smaller projects over there like minis, or just like half projects. There are freebies over there that you can choose from that are not as large of projects that you know just try, then you don't like it and you just throw it out. So that's something that I would like for you to do. Plus, to be honest, why not open a channel on YouTube? Since I have opened my channel, I've started stitching all my projects. I've started showing them off. I've started speaking more, learning how to talk on camera. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but I'm still learning. And I don't know, all my projects that I have been stitching before, well, not all of them, the ones that I like, I actually started to progress with them because I have somebody to share it with, and I want to show my progresses. So that gives me the drive to keep stitching. So that's something that's really important to me, and I think that my channel helped me progress with my stitching. So first of all, don't go for the big charts, just go for the smaller ones for the newbies, and try and have fun with it. I mean, it's not supposed to be something you make yourself do. If you don't enjoy a project, just put it aside. Maybe you'll go back to it later. Think twice before you start something if it's your type of project, because there are so many projects that I have started that I've just put aside because I wasn't enjoying them, and that's sad because there are materials that I've wasted, and I don't know if I will be going back to them. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but again, think twice before you start something, because you don't want to waste your time, like I said. Yeah, so that's about it. This video is, I think, half an hour long already, so I'm going to finish it. I'm going to still learn how to use this device that I have now, the phone holder, because I'm not really sure if I'm using it right for now. But yeah, I hope that you were able to see what I was stitching, what I'm doing, and that's about it. So I will see you in my next video. We'll see what that will be like. Maybe I'll make a review for you for the project that I am planning for my future cross stitch. Well, not cross stitch, bead stitching. That's something that I wanted to show you for a while now, and there's a little story behind that. So that's something that I'm going to show you soon, and I will see you in my next video. So give me thumbs up, subscribe, and press the bell below to be notified when my videos come out. And like I said, there's a donation button downstairs, so you can just throw some stuff into that. Anyways, I love you guys. You don't have to do that.